All right, welcome to the first video, probably the second video. Uh, I am your host, Fernando, uh, slash Tactical Style, and here we go. We're gonna have the full reaction of what just happened because I just finished watching the game, and also if you haven't been here before, this is a new channel, new setup. We're gonna talk mainly soccer, all soccer, every day, every week, probably post predictions, maybe sports betting. I don't know. But let's talk about the Champions League reaction we just saw, where Bayern and PSG just had such an amazing game. Honestly, I can't believe how huge of a game that was. It's honestly something that's probably hasn't happened in a while since, you know, Barcelona and Bayern faced each other, a long time ago, and it ended up being so bad. I mean, even I think the last time we had such a huge game with so many goals was, I want to say, the PSG versus Barcelona game. It was so many years ago, so probably over a decade ago. But yeah, such a good game. I mean, I can't believe all the goals. Honestly, nothing bad to say about the game. I will say the penalties controversial. I saw Jamie Carragher talking about it. I saw TT Henry talking about it. I honestly think the penalties in the game were they were all right, but it's just such a big thing with handballs in the game, especially now with VAR and everything, because you can't really tell what's actually a penalty, what's not a penalty. But in my opinion, I think well, first of all, let's just talk about the goals, because the first goal was really good. I would have to say, if anything, a lot of people are gonna be upset because the defending was so bad. But the thing is, the individual play in the entire game was just so good. Like, you literally can't have anything bad to say, because the individual talent in these two teams, not only were these teams like really good against each other, but they kept going the whole game. Like, it literally was back and forth, back and forth. Like, I would say one thing, like, when I was watching back the game, I would have to say the midfield was kind of shaky, because it felt like there was no midfield. Like, the whole time there was literally no midfield. Like, you can see Dembele running through the middle. You can see Neves running down the middle. Olise, obviously, this guy is such a good guy. I mean, what can we say about Olise? Honestly, I didn't think he was going to be that much of a good player until he went to Bayern. Because the thing is, I do watch some Premier League games, but the thing about it is Crystal Palace. Not a lot of people were watching Crystal Palace. Maybe if you're like a Crystal Palace fan, sure, but not a lot of people watch Crystal Palace. But when I'm talking about such individual play by Olise, it's just something where I always hear TT Henry talk about it, where like he specifically says that in this game you really have to see what Olise does, because sometimes he cuts left, right, cuts left. It's just one of those players where, like, he literally cuts in where you don't really expect him to cut in, and this guy shoots the ball where you just don't expect it to shoot, and he has like this much space to even give himself to go crazy. But no, I think everything just went well. I would have to say, yeah, the 17 minute, I think it was 17-minute penalty, which was, again, controversial again with the penalties. Was it a penalty? Honestly, it's the thing is, in the Prem they probably would say it's a penalty, and then maybe Champions League it's a little bit different. But yeah, besides the penalties, I mean, everyone did good. Everyone. I will say, the one thing is, could the defense been better? Maybe the defense would have been better. It's just, we're right now we're watching two teams who are arguably, I want to say, the favorites, because when I look at the next two teams that are going to be in the final, Atleti and Atletico Madrid and Arsenal, and I don't even want to talk about them yet, but because this game just had a lot of things going. not only I mean, what can I say? I mean, we saw Nuno Mendes, one of the best left backs so far in this year, getting outplayed by Olise. This guy was literally on the floor for the first time in a while because he had to run back and forth just to keep up with Olise. And I don't know if you guys were watching, but you know when Real Madrid had to play Bayern, and Olise is just that hard to defend because he literally is very unpredictable when he's on the ball. And I don't want to keep talking about Olise because everyone knows he's just a good player. But yeah, what can I say? Kvaratskhelia also. Oh my god, what a baller! What an absolute baller! I'm honestly surprised Kvaratskhelia doesn't. He hasn't been playing as much like throughout the whole year, but just recently he just got back into the team. I think a couple of matches ago before this tie, it was probably like maybe like 3 or 4 games where he just got back in the team. But Kvaratskhelia, what an unbelievable player! Such a good player. Not this game just really tells you how much of a difference an attacker is in this game because not only did he run the whole time, this dude dropped back in the midfield in the defense, helped out his defenders, come back and then still made the run, still got into spots where like you never expected him to be, and just what an absolute such a complete player where not a lot of players actually do that. Honestly, I don't want to talk about my team. I don't want to talk about Real Madrid right now because it's not about Real Madrid. Real Madrid are out. They're out of the Champions League. We're out of everything. I don't even want to talk about them. I just want to talk about that. But again, Bayern, PSG, what a good game. And I'm honestly, I didn't predict they would go out guns blazing. Honestly, I thought this game was going to be so tight where it was going to be like 1-1. But no, it's a completely different game. But now let's talk about the actual game that was actually like so bad. It just I don't even think it's worth mentioning because I mean, when we're talking about like games here, we're talking about good Champions League games. And honestly, I thought in my mind before Arsenal were coming into this game versus Atletico Madrid, I didn't think they were gonna be such a side where they were gonna go out, try to win the game, go back home, and just defend. But no, this game felt so boring, like literally boring to the fact where like I'm wondering why did Atletico Madrid like literally I don't know what it is. They it's just something about this team where when you're watching them, you're thinking, okay, you have Alvarez up top, you have Griezmann playing his last year in La Liga, playing his. I mean, this guy's going to MLS next year. No, he's not gonna come. He's not gonna go back to Europe. Once you hit MLS, you're done. You're just done. Okay, so we're talking about Griezmann, arguably probably one of the best players in a long time that Atletico Madrid has had, right? He's definitely a legend for sure. Even though he went to Barca, still a legend for Atleti. But yeah, Griezmann's having such a good year too. So Griezmann having a good year, in form again. Alvarez again, such a good purchase from that, and this team, it's just I don't know what it is. Like I honestly I don't know what it is. I mean the game that Atletico Madrid played before going into this Arsenal game was fine because obviously Atletico Madrid did something that I didn't expect them to do. They beat Barcelona, but they were this close from losing that tie. Like they did so good in the first leg. Second leg, they just did not do shit. They did not do shit, which is something that it's so bad to see because when I'm looking back at it, I'm thinking, okay, if Barcelona went through instead of Atletico Madrid, Barcelona definitely could beat Arsenal with no problem. Because this whole reason of, okay, Atletico Madrid has a curse in the Champions League because they made it to the semis, they made it to the finals, haven't won, they lost in the finals, they lost in the semis. What is it, like 3 times, 4 times? So look, as much as Atletico Madrid love to be in this competition, they just give me this idea that they don't want to go all out because they know they can just defend and get that one goal lead, get that one goal, just defend the rest of the game, and let's just win it like that. And this is why when I was watching Arsenal before this tie, I was watching the last 2 games that they had, and they were so bad. They didn't do anything. They literally did not do anything. They got literally a 1-0 win, and defended the rest of the game. Why did they do that? Because they were scared. Right now, if I'm an Arsenal fan coming into the game and then ending it 1-1, I'd be scared right now. I'd be scared because I know for a fact I'm going to go back to my home, think about the game, and I don't want Atletico Madrid to score at my house. I don't want them to come to my home and score. But the fact that Arsenal are scared as fuck right now is insane to me, that Atletico didn't take that pressure. Not only that, but they didn't bring in I also don't get this. Why did they hold on to that one? They've had so many chances in this game. They literally could have beaten Arsenal. They had so many chances, but they passed the ball back. They do play on the counter. The thing is, Atletico Madrid had just too many defenders, too many they were almost playing like a back five. They didn't want to pressure this team. They didn't want to push up. But this whole time, probably in the second half, I think Arsenal were like thinking, okay, we're 1-0 up. Let's not concede. And then obviously, the controversial pens, and then that one pen or that one foul where Eze, dived in the box. Ref said it was a pen, called it back, said it wasn't. Obviously, that's controversial. What can I say about that though? When I'm looking back at that, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they could have got a pen, maybe they couldn't. But the thing is, it was so soft. Like why? Yes, in the Premier League, you probably give that away because it's like barely a touch, right? Like barely a fucking touch. But the thing is, like, we're in the Champions League. If you're counting on your team, like, to get ahead, you can't be thinking, okay, let me just dive in the box. Really? You can't be thinking like that, because if you think like that, you just have this mentality of like, okay, we're just gonna get the one goal, just defend the whole time. That is not how you win the Champions League. You don't win the Champions League by going 1-0 up, defending the whole time. When you have PSG, Bayern over here, outscoring each other 5-4, and then you have another side where it's Atletico. Okay, yeah, I'm getting chances. Yeah, I'm up there in the box and I'm trying to defend, but I also want to score. Do I make those chances count? Maybe sometimes, yes. But do I also try to hold back and defend for the rest of my life? Yes, I do. But why? Why is there a need to defend when you're playing Arsenal, such a weak team right now, where I don't want to say they bottled the league, because, they're probably going to win against Fulham, because obviously Fulham hasn't been that bad. They haven't beaten Arsenal in such a long time. So obviously, Arsenal's probably going to win there. And then, again, they're just going to win the league. But the thing is, Arsenal they won their last game. So they're probably going to win the next game, give them more confidence, probably win more games. But right now, Arsenal are trying to keep the pace with the Prem. And it's been so many years where they've won a Premier League. So they really are focusing on the league. But the thing is, when you're in two competitions, and I'm taking it as like experience, because I've been watching Real Madrid for so many years now. I've been watching it for over a decade, and like there's so much pressure in my team where if Real Madrid was still in the Champions League and we weren't like maybe like 9 points, 6 points away from winning the title, I would say okay, the pressure's on because we got to chase. And right now, that's what Arsenal's doing. The pressure's on them, and it's always on. It's always been on them because they blew the lead that they had because they were up like 19 points in the Prem. Did they have a chance to win it comfortably without any issues? Yeah, they did, but they blew it. So now we have them being scared, and also the fact that they're in a position where they're probably gonna play their strongest team throughout the entire year, probably get tired, and then coming into this game, I can see them being scared because obviously they don't want to concede, they don't want to go down, because the moment they go down, they're thinking, okay, if we're down right now, we got to score, because they're going to be at home, and if they get knocked out, they just have the Premier League that they're still chasing, because Man City is only down by maybe goal difference probably, unless they lose or tie against Everton probably next week. But yeah, like I said, I think it was such a boring game. I just don't want to talk about it anymore. That's honestly all I can say about that. It's a lot to say, especially for these two ties. I just think the better team is on the other side. Better teams on the other side. PSG, Bayern Munich. They're the favorites to win. I don't see Atletico Madrid. I don't see Arsenal winning the Champions League. I mean, come on. We're talking about Dembele here. We're talking about Harry Kane. The fact that Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, and Olise are on one team is just crazy. Like that's how crazy it is to me. The fact that is a team, and then you also have on the other side you have you literally have Vitinha, you have Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, you have all these guys. Doué. I mean, all these guys are good. They've been good throughout the whole year. And then you have Arsenal here chasing the league, which they should have won comfortably. They're not. They still might win it. I'm not gonna say they won't, but they still might win it because obviously they have a chance. But obviously, Man City is behind them. Arsenal doesn't know what it feels like. This team now, they don't know what it feels like to win. They've never won it. But the Man City that's chasing, they won it. Not only did they win it once, they won it like more than once. So right now, I think Arsenal are in a point where, it's like half and half with the Champions League. All right, the next thing I want to talk about, Spurs. What the fuck is going on with Spurs? The fact that I even have to say anything about Tottenham is actually insane to me. Right now, what are they? Right now, I think they're 18th. While I'm recording the video, this is the game before the Aston Villa game. Yeah, no, it's the game before game before the Aston Villa, and probably you're gonna see this video before that, but the next games they have are kind of tough. I mean, what can I say about Tottenham right now? I'm just surprised because Tottenham this year were bad. Like they were very bad. I mean, they're probably gonna beat Wolves. Obviously, they're gonna beat Wolves. That's no brainer there. So they're gonna beat them. Yeah. What else can I say about them? I mean, yeah, they beat Wolves already, so I'd say they're beating Wolves. Aston Villa. Thing is, Aston Villa are fighting for, I think, in Europa League. So tough to see them beating Aston Villa because Aston Villa have been good right now. Okay, I don't know. I just think right now Tottenham are just in a bad spot. They have so many injuries. I mean, they lost Christian Romero, and they lost, their goalie. They lost, who else? Xavi Simmons, which is pretty good. I think Madison might come back. I want to say he might come back. Uh, who else did they lose? I think they lost. What's his name? It's in my head right now. They lost a lot of players. They did lose a lot of players though. Kulusevski, that's who it was. Yeah, they lost Kulusevski. Honestly, I haven't seen Kulusevski in a while. I haven't seen that guy play in over a year, which is actually insane to me. And the fact that he's still at Tottenham is actually crazy. I haven't seen that guy play in such a long time. Yeah, but it's been such a long time for Tottenham. I don't know how they got in this position, but I just think that there's a time in Tottenham where like I'm thinking what their next play is, but there's no actual play. Like they're just not that good. They're just not that good right now. I mean, after that whole fiasco with the goalie situation and Igor Tudor, it's like, I mean, Spurs have how many managers did Spurs have? They had Thomas Frank, which I don't know why they went after Thomas Frank. I mean, yeah, he did good at Brentford, but why him? Why would you go from top 6, right? Supposedly top 6 after a manager? I don't know. Just doesn't make any sense to me. And then obviously fire him, and then it just goes downhill from there. Like, it literally just goes downhill from there. They're in the relegation zone. Do I think Tottenham are gonna survive? Honestly, it might be close because I think right now the teams that are probably gonna survive in the Premier League, and it is very exciting to watch too. But I think right now the teams that are gonna survive are probably gonna be. Leeds are definitely gonna survive because Leeds are playing Tottenham next, and Leeds haven't lost in such a long time. I mean, they just beat Chelsea just a while ago, but Chelsea have been bad too this year, which I'm not gonna talk about them. No, I'm not gonna talk about them because obviously they just fired their coach. Liam Rosenior, they just fired him. Such a bad guy. I didn't have time to talk about him, but let's just say probably the worst manager in Chelsea history. Probably the worst manager. I mean, this guy lost over maybe 10 games in a row. No. Yeah, no. Bad guy. Bad guy. I don't even know why they got him. I mean, the thing with the notes too. Who the fuck? There was one video where I was watching. I think it was on TikTok, and I was watching Liam Rosenior just handing the notes to Alejandro Garnacho on the field, and not only does this man fucking fold it like this, put it in his pocket, reads the notes again, put it back in his pocket, and goes back on the field. What the fuck are you doing? As a manager, what the fuck are you doing? Who gives out notes to a player, lets him go on the field, lets him read the notes, and goes back on the field? Like, what the fuck is? What's crazy? I think as I'm recording this, after he got fired, I don't think one Chelsea player posted, "Thanks, coach. Thank you for your time. None of them. All quiet. Literally all fucking quiet. None of them even said shit." Which is actually crazy because I remember when we fired Xabi Alonso, we had so many players even congratulating, thanking him for his time. But not one fucking player for Liam Rosenior. Not one player. I think everyone hated him. That's why they lost so many games. I mean, I don't even think they're gonna win again. But it's okay because Chelsea are in fucking 10th or 9th or 8th or whatever the fuck. They're not gonna get relegated, so they're fine. even if they don't make Champions League, which would be sad, but they're definitely not gonna make it. What else can I say? So yeah, like I was saying, Spurs. Do I think they'll get relegated? Honestly, no. No. Do I want them to get relegated? Yes, I do. Because it would be cool to see Tottenham in Championship trying to fight back. It would be crazy to see them in the Championship. Not only that, but it'd be interesting because usually in the Championship they don't have huge stadiums. They have like, I mean, they have like small like mid tier stadiums, but Tottenham Stadium is big. I think one time they hosted a football game there. I don't remember, but I will say it is interesting to see them there. So that is one of the reasons why I want them. I do want Tottenham to get relegated. Not because I hate them or anything, but just the fact that I don't think they deserve to stay in the league. I mean, they just they have all this potential, and you just squander it away. Like what? Like I mean, I understand not wanting Igor Tudor to be your manager because he was obviously an interim, but why do you not play to win games when you know you're that close to getting relegated? Because you know for a fact Leeds, they're not gonna let you win. Leeds are trying to survive the relegation. They're not out of it. So Leeds are definitely gonna beat you. They haven't lost. They're definitely gonna fight. Leeds. So Tottenham are facing Leeds. So I can see Leeds beating them, which probably it's the last maybe three to two games left. Nottingham Forest. I mean, they've been good so far. They've been good, really good. They have, same, Nottingham Forest, same. Nottingham Forest are probably on the same level as Leeds. They haven't lost in a while either. So they've been winning games. I don't think they're gonna drop. Now, West Ham. I used to be such a big West Ham supporter. Back when I watched Sidemen, and I think when I used to watch Bazinga, such a big, huge West Ham fan. I mean, obviously now he sees the team where they're at. He doesn't blame them obviously because like they're not as good as they were before. Because West Ham have changed a lot. They've lost a lot of players. But right now, I think it might be closer to the fact that West Ham and Tottenham are fighting for relegation. And I think the next game that's going to be important is probably going to be the Arsenal and the West Ham game. Because if West Ham... Because I think West Ham are playing... Who are they playing? They're playing Brentford. And I think West Ham probably aren't going to win there because Brentford have been decent. They haven't been bad. So I think Brentford are going to... They're probably going to win that game. But what can I say? So I see West Ham losing to Brentford. I see Arsenal, West Ham. Now it really depends here, because if Arsenal beat Fulham, I think there pressure's on for them not to lose to West Ham. But the thing is, West Ham have to win if they don't want to get relegated. So there's two pressures there. So I want to say it would be crazy to say West Ham beat Arsenal, because not only is West Ham helping Man City stop Arsenal, but they're also stopping Spurs from not getting relegated, which is actually crazy. In the same month, which is actually insane, in the same month where they have to play each other. Man, what a good week. But yeah, so far I think Tottenham are probably gonna be safe. They just have easier games. I mean, they're definitely gonna be safe. I think if anything, West Ham probably have harder games. Unfortunately, I don't like to see any team I kind of like get relegated, but I think West Ham are certainly down. West Ham are certainly down. All right. The last thing I want to talk about. I really didn't want to talk about it, but this year, I think Real Madrid probably. This is like almost like the second year where Madrid hasn't won anything. Probably gonna go trophyless again. And I think this year has been such a year where you just have to realize there's more problems in the club rather than just the manager. Because whenever people talk about Real Madrid, they're thinking, okay, the pressure is there. Once you get there, you can't lose. Every game, you have to win. And that's such a huge pressure. I mean, it's the pressure is also on for Barcelona, because obviously, in La Liga, the only two teams that are actually gonna fight are Barca and Real. Because, yeah, Atletico Madrid fights sometimes, but let's be honest, they're not fighting. They're not fighting. Not against Barca. Not against Real Madrid. Maybe Atleti beat Real Madrid once in a while, but it doesn't matter. They're not even close. But the main issue, Real Madrid, I don't know what happened, but I can just say it hurts to see my team right now where it's not the manager's fault, but it's mainly the players getting too much power, mainly the president getting involved too much. I just think it's not football. It's not football anymore at that point. It just comes down to business and individuality, where we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about Vini here. We're talking about Mbappe here. I mean, we're talking about the power in these players. I mean, I think the moment where I knew it was going to be over for Xabi was the El Clasico game, the first one, where you can just see Vinny's reaction, just getting off. He didn't want to get off. It's crazy to me to say, because I've been such a fan of Vinny, ever since he came to the club. When he was 18, when Vinny was 18, he was not that good. I'll be the first one to say, he was complete garbage. When he was 18, he was garbage. He was not as good as he thought he was. The moment we got rid of Benzema, the moment we got rid of all these players, we had to let go of Modric, we had to let go of Casemiro, all these guys, our top players, our players that made us. I mean, once Hazard left, it's like, who do you have left? You have Vini, you have Benzema, and then once Benzema leaves, who else do you have left? You have Rodrigo, you have Vini. Okay, so now we have Vini, Rodrigo. Who else? I mean, nah. I mean, even the 1 year where we had Joselu, he did so good for us. He did better than most of these guys that are coming in now. I mean, what can I say? It breaks my heart to see the club right now, because it's such an internal thing where, and obviously I think Fabrizio Romano talked about this, where next year it's going to be different, where the president is going to have less involvement, in the managing side, less involvement in the team. He's just going to let everything free fall. I think the rumors are clear about who the next coach is, and it kind of sucks to hear that Jose Mourinho, is highly considered as a candidate to take over. I do understand why he's gonna take over though, because it makes sense. He was the last. It was almost over a decade, where back when he was managing, we won the title. But it's been such a crazy take, the fact that Mourinho is the first candidate Perez would go to. How did it go from Xabi Alonso, who had such an amazing year at Bayer Leverkusen last year, and then we drop all the way down, and we decide, okay, let's get Jose Mourinho, because he's going to be the one to control everyone's ego. He's going to be the one in there to say, listen, you guys got to do this or do that. Like, I understand he's going to be doing that, but the thing is, him and Vinny had a whole argument, I think a couple of months ago, where Madrid were facing Benfica, and I just don't think Vinny is gonna want that. And I think, especially this year, I think the main topic was, could Vinny and Mbappe play together? That was the main topic everyone was wondering, because I know for a fact that when Mbappe came, everyone thought he was going to be like the next Galactico. He was going to get us the league, Champions League. Even he was saying, okay, we're going to win the Champions League and everything, which, it's obvious when you come to Madrid, you're always thinking, yeah, we're going to go to the Champions League final. We're going to win the Champions League. Because this team has so many. But the thing is, it's a team sport. It's not an individual sport. This year, Vinny and Mbappe did not work out. It's just plain and simple. But it's also a real truth, where sometimes too many individuals, they can't get along. They can't get along. I mean, how many times have I seen? I've watched so many games where I've seen Mbappe running down the field with the ball close to the goal, Vinny on the left, open, Mbappe here, thinking about shooting, Vinny still open, calls for the ball, Mbappe here, shoots the ball, misses. And then I have Vinny running down the field, still has the ball, dribbles around the guy, gets to the line, Mbappe here, waiting for the ball, Vinny still here, Vinny cuts back inside, shoots, misses, Mbappe open. This is what I mean. You can't have two big individual players who, for one thing, sometimes they do pass it to each other, but the most times I've seen them, they do not get along. They do not pass the ball to each other as much as you think. If anything, Arda Güler, one of the best young guys we have on our team right now. Honestly, last year I didn't think Güler would be as good as he is now, But that's because Carlo Ancelotti, he didn't trust him. It's crazy to me to say, because Carlo obviously fucked up there. Honestly, when I first saw Goulet play, did I think he was not as good? Yeah, obviously, but he was young. But then Xabi Alonso came in. He was like, okay, I was a midfielder. Let me help Goulet because I know he has potential. So then he let him play. Couple of games went by, assist to Mbappe, scores. Next game, assist to Mbappe. Couple of next games, assist to Mbappe. But the fact that Goulet was involved in more than 10 assists to Mbappe, that just tells you right there, this guy, he was trying to look for Mbappe the whole time because he knew how he plays. Whether it was the long ball or the short ball or even a cross in the box. Like, this guy would always look for Mbappe. And it makes sense because he's a midfielder. Midfielders look for the striker. But the thing is, Mbappe, he just doesn't feel that good as a striker. It's just one of those things where, like, if you have a winger who's so good at being a winger, you can't put him in a different position and expect him to play there as good as he is in a different position. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. That's why in the summer I think I don't think Mourinho's gonna be that guy. As much as Perez wants it to happen, I just don't think Mourinho's gonna be that guy. In all honesty, I don't think he even comes close to managing this team. What I do think is, though, I did see the rumors that Jurgen Klopp, I think Klopp would be such a good manager. I mean, it took a while for him to do good at Liverpool, but he got the time. Now, would he take the Madrid job with time? Honestly, I don't think he wouldn't say no. I think if he got what he was asking for in terms of money, a budget, which players to get rid of, what kind of formation they're going to play, all the power in his hands where he's allowed to say, listen, if you're doing something not right, we're going to bench you. Or if you're not showing up to practice on time, you're not pressing in the game, we're just going to bench you. And that's been the biggest thing for Madrid in such a long time. Because obviously, when Carlo Ancelotti was still the coach, everyone was pressing. Every single person was pressing. Not only did they listen to Carlo, they knew Carlo. They respected him. Can this team respect Jose Mourinho, who, by the way, hasn't managed a top team in such a long time? I mean, at this point, at one point, this guy was managing Tottenham, where I didn't think that made any sense. But no, I don't think Mourinho can do it. Can Klopp do it? I want to say maybe. If we give him a shot, maybe. I think he would do it. I think he would do it. He probably would get some time to adjust if he does come before the next season, probably a little bit before the World Cup, I want to say, and before the season ends. I think I wouldn't mind having Klopp as a manager. It's just the individuals that they need to listen to the coach, and that is the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. And obviously, Klopp is not stupid. He obviously wants to play Vinny and Mbappe together, but he's also he's also smart enough to know where players actually play. Because right now, what we're seeing at Liverpool is just that's Klopp's team. The fact that Arne Slot took that team, won the league, which I think is fine. Yeah, you can win the league with the same team, but in the next year, if you don't win, there's so much pressure on you. And on top of that, we're seeing Salah, one of the greatest Liverpool players, play like absolute garbage at Liverpool this year because he's not getting managed correctly. But he's also not the same player as he was, which is sad to say because I actually do like Salah. I mean, at one point I wanted Salah to join. I wanted Salah to come to Madrid. But at the time we had Bale, where like, I mean Bale, honestly Bale was injured for a while, where at one point I did want to get rid of him, but the thing is, Bale was just Bale. He was just good. He was just good. I mean, even when he came back from injury, he was still fine. He was still good. But no, I think at one point, I think I would want Klopp to come in. I think I would want Klopp to come in. All right, and then the final thing I gotta talk about is predictions for the next leg of the Champions League, because that's gonna be important. Obviously, I'll talk about next matches for Arsenal, Man City. I mean, what is there to say? They're chasing it. It's either Man City wins, Arsenal wins, Man City draws, Arsenal draws. They're chasing it. And as far as La Liga, the league's over. Yes, Madrid mathematically can still win it, but it's over. I don't think it's gonna happen. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's sad to say that Barca, they actually fucking won again, and they won it where they played. I don't want to say they played bad because they didn't play bad. It's not that they played bad. It's just the way they did it was they just outscored so many teams. They conceded more, but I think they conceded less. They just, I don't know. It's just, I don't really want to say good things about Barca because I'm not a Barcelona fan. I'm a Madrid fan. I don't like Barcelona. I don't want to say good stuff, but in all honesty, I think, yeah, I think especially for this year, I think the fact that they got John Garcia is, yeah, he definitely saved them a lot of times. I mean, there was a couple of games, I think I want to say against Osasuna, where he did make some saves. So he did save them so many times this year, which is good because, you know, when you're buying a new goalie, you know. I will say though, I think if Courtois didn't get injured after that City game, I think we would have had a better chance against Bayern. I think we would have had a better chance against Bayern, and I think we wouldn't have lost or tied as many games as we did. So the fact that we had to play Lunin, which, come on, when you're playing the second goalie, that's when like you're down a little bit bad because you got to rely more on defense, and the defense was not as good as I thought throughout the whole year. I mean, Dean Howson was all right. Was he good? No. He was fine. I would have to say, if anything, Rudiger was our best center back of the year, which is sad to say because we bought Dean Howson for maybe 60 mil, and we expected him to start more as he did, but he didn't. I mean, Raul Asensio was playing way more games, and than Dean Howson at one point. And now at the end of the year, Raul Sancio is nowhere to be found because he's not as good as he thought. Because when you have Rudiger and then you have Militao coming back, and again, Militao is probably one of our best center backs, but this guy's always getting injured, so it's not even worth fucking playing him. So many times I see Militao on the field, I'm thinking, please don't tackle him, please don't, because he's gonna break his leg, break or whatever the fuck, and he's gonna go to the World Cup injured and shit, and it's just not worth it. I think this year we definitely have to sell a lot of players. Now, yes, okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Real Madrid now winning the league. Congrats to Barca. Congrats. I don't like it. I don't like seeing Barcelona win. I do hope we win the next El Clasico, though, so we can at least stop the crowning there. So I hope we do win that. But, again, so La Liga is over. Barca won. Premier League, they're chasing. The next legs. All right, this is the important topic and probably the last topic. But this is the next step here, because Bayern are playing at home. Now, my predictions are, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes back and forth, but something about Bayern Munich just tells me the team is just, they're set up at a point where I think they're going to do really good against any side. They're going to outscore, and I think they're going to defend better, especially at home, because you don't want to disappoint your fans. Now, I think they are going to play way better. I think Bayern are probably going to win because they got to come back. They're down 1. So I think they're probably going to win this game 2-1. I think 2-1. That gets them there. Yeah. I think. Will they be like 5, 6? Well, yeah, I think 5, 6, and then say, okay. Well, maybe. Okay, I want to say 2-1 Bayern, or yeah, I say 2-1 Bayern. Yeah, 2-1 Bayern versus PSG. And I think Bayern Munich are probably going to win. Honestly, I think Bayern are just going to qualify. I think they're going to make it to the final. I think Bayern Munich right now, they're definitely going to make it to the final. Cuz I did see something about Hakimi getting a little bit injured, and he's probably going to miss the next leg. So I think with Hakimi gone, it's just hard to defend Luis Diaz. I mean, he's just too good. I think Bayern are going to make it to the final. Now, Atletico versus Arsenal. Arsenal are home, and like I said before, they don't want to concede. They definitely don't want to lose the game, because if they lose the game at home, you better pray those Atletico Madrid fans are not going to leave that stadium. So this is the toughest one to call, because if Arsenal do good in the Prem and they outscore their teams in the next couple of games and get their form back, I think it's going to be hard for Atletico Madrid. Because right now Atletico Madrid they're in La Liga, where they don't have nothing playing for them. They're not winning. They're not going for the title, so they're just resting, and they're going all in on the Champions League. So I think Atletico Madrid win. I think Arsenal are they're gonna be too worried about the Premier League, where they're not going to be as hard. And I think Atletico Madrid win. 2-0 at Arsenal. I think Atletico go through, and I think the final is probably gonna be Bayern versus Atletico Madrid. I don't think Arsenal. They've been shaky a couple of times. They've been shaky the last game. I don't think they're ready. I don't think they're ready, and I think Atleti get another chance at the Champions League, and they go to the final. But that's gonna be it for me. Till the next video.